Welcome to the standoff. Today we're taking a look at two budget-friendly ultra-high performance tires, the NEXEN N'Fera SU1 and the Kenda Vezda KR20. We're going to be going over each tire and comparing them head-to-head when it comes to a few different things such as their performance, their construction, the price, and personal experience. I'm Jels, let's get started. Starting off with a brief overview of each of these tires that we have here, starting with the NEXEN N'Fera SU1. This is an ultra-high performance all-season tire that has been on the market for some time now and is known for its affordability and performance in comparison to other premium UHP tires on the market, coming in at between $85 and $200 per tire depending on the size. Now in the other corner here we have the Kenda Vezda KR20. Now as you can tell pretty much right out of the gate just by looking at this tire, this is going to be a dedicated summer ultra high performance tire. Now I'll say right away, if we wanted to look at a much closer comparison across these two brands, we would probably take a look at the KR400 from Kenda. However, we've been drifting on both of these tires all summer and still thought that they deserve to be talked about in comparison since they do fall in such a similar price category, with the KR20 coming in at between $65 and $140 per tire. Starting off with driving characteristics for these tires, typically when we talk about these characteristics, we're referring to how they handle in both wet and dry conditions. Now starting off with the NEXEN SU1 over here, it does really well in dry handling performance thanks to things like an asymmetric tread pattern and a stiff shoulder design. This gives the SU1 really good response when it comes to things like steering and cornering, since there isn't too much flex in the sidewall but enough to give you control. When it comes to the KR20, the directional tread design that we have on this tire and the material and compound that it's made out of give it a very comparable dry performance and stability at higher speeds thanks to an incredibly stiff sidewall as well. However, since we're looking at a pretty simple tread design here compared to something like the SU1, we are relying much more on these larger tread blocks for traction, and that's going to require you to get some heat in these things before they really start to bite and stand out. Hopping on over to the wet handling characteristics, as you can imagine, the SU1 is kind of really gonna outshine here since it is an all-season rated tire and it has a bunch more sipes and channels and a silica infused compound to help get water out of the way much more effectively. And the KR20, with its larger tread blocks and more aggressive design, isn't going to be the best for water evacuation and does suffer a bit when it comes to braking and performance in the wet condition. Again, just want to reiterate, two different types of tires that we are looking at, but there is a reason that we are comparing these two, and we'll get into that in just a second. Now the SU1 offers a 320 tread wear rating, which makes it a pretty durable ultra high performance tire for the cost that you're getting into it, giving it a good balance between performance and longevity. The KR20 on the other hand has a slightly lower tread wear, coming in at a 300, giving it a slightly faster wear under aggressive driving conditions. Now breaking these tires down a little bit further into the actual construction of each of them, we start to see how they really start to differ from each other and where that price point really starts to get affected and come into play. With the NEXEN SU1, we're looking at a tire that is built still with comfort and reliability in mind, which is why you'll see things like a two-ply polyester casing and a high-strength bead design come into play. The KR20, on the other hand, is more just a raw approach when it comes to making a performance-focused tire. Focus on giving you as much performance as it can as a low cost that it comes in. Obviously, we have a really stiff sidewall on the KR20, but outside of that, it doesn't really have many of the features of the SU1 that are included to giving it more longevity and comfort during driving. The SU1, in my opinion, is that great all-around tire. If you're looking for something that you can street drive on, it's gonna be a little bit more comfortable. You can drive it to the track, beat on it, maybe you have to swap them out with another set, but then you're able to drive home. Now, if the track really isn't your thing, then I still think that they make a really good, affordable, ultra high performance all season tire as well. Outside of the cold weather months, if you want us to do some testing on this thing in the weather conditions, make sure to let us know, because we want to see how they do as well. Now, I've used these on my own 240SX and our R34 GTT, and they've done an incredible job of what we needed them to do. And that was to be a budget-friendly drift tire for us, so we didn't have to worry about falling apart when we got some heat into these things and got some laps done on them. They do heat cycle decently well, and on lower horsepower cars, they're a great tire to go with. Which is why at the end here, if you're looking for a budget-friendly tire that you can get you around town a little bit more comfortably, but still perform and do what you need to, if you take it to the track or you just have a weekend warrior car that you like to rip around, making like 150 to 300 horsepower, the SU1 is gonna be a fantastic tire choice for you on a budget. Now, if you know you're gonna be burning through half a dozen tires every time you go out to the track day because you know your car is an absolute animal and you want to put on an absolute smoke show, but you're going to be going through tires a ton and you don't want to be spending, you know, hundreds of dollars every time you do a lap, the KR20 is going to be the answer for you. So hopefully this will help you out on your next tire purchase, whether you're looking for something to pair with a new set of wheels that you're getting or you're trying to stock up for your next track day. And of course, if you have any questions and need some help on what would be best for you, make sure to comment down below or shoot us a message. We'd be more than happy to help out. And of course, make sure to check out either of these tires, the NEXEN N'Fera SU1 or the Kenda Vezda KR20 over at martiniworks.com. I'm Gels, and we'll see you later.